Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
Decider here on Mirage, and it's going to be, you know, solid territory for both of these teams. That's something we headed into this series knowing, right? We're not going to get uncomfortable positions. We're not going to get uncomfortable maps in the Decider here, so we'll see if Brazen can keep their solid pistol round success true. Looks like Kari winning out that knife round, and a little retake Classico to kick us off here for the pistol. We'll see what Florence can offer up in resistance, but taken down low, he's just going to fall out.
Rightfully so. He's got the kit. He's got the smoke. You got to keep him alive for as long as possible. You rescind your chances down in CT, and then you retake it with a little bit more men behind it. Look at this positioning from Brazen. All willing to fight down and connector down in the mid, but the real fight is going to come down through CT. This is going to be a bloodbath.
That it is. All funneling on in here. It's all a game of timing. Yes, Cryptic activates on the flank. He's going to have some chances to shoot some backs, and he will. But his teammates are going down in the meantime. Three players in towards jungle. It's hard to get back into this one, but Cryptic nailing the shots, man. This guy cannot be stopped. 3 kills on the retake on the flank, and somehow they pull off that retake.
Bit odd that Cryptic didn't actually defuse the bomb there, but no harm, no foul. Fantastic work there from Cryptic again. Impact from this guy aplenty. The retake from CT works wonders. I mean, they caught just a perfect timing there. As Brazen is trying to clear out mid, try to clear out bottom con. They immediately pounce the flash. Sorry, not the flash. The smoke is absolutely well placed. And the shots connect. The trades work out in their favor. And they've got themselves on the board as quick as possible. But with the bomb plant, and being on the T side, come the Galils. More contact heavy plays, and they've just propelled 3 players out here in mid.
Maybe hoping for a chance to get that dry contact. You know, sometimes you can catch a player holding off the window and you can overwhelm, but in this case it's Florence who just takes a little bit of flack and playing a very now passive approach here. In rounds like these, it can be dangerous to give over this much free contact because the utility is so lacking. You got to really make them work for this map control, but they're already up connector here, so that isn't going to be the case. They've already taken the space.
Now they're getting what they're wanted, though. Those contact fights. Double flash, single smoke. It's all up to the gunfights, really. But they've got a decent little crossfire here. Kitten.Freshie trying to lock things down, but connector is going to be, again, a really, really contentious position here.
Yeah, the contact game's far too overwhelming. Cryptic gets spammed through the smoke, and you can see all the dominoes falling into place right there very quickly. Brazen get what they want, and they get it quickly. Off the back of that map control, they completely overwhelm that A side, and I think just a classic case of the CTs playing a little bit too passive, a little bit too giving, and it comes back to haunt them in this round. A couple upgrades for the Ts as well, picking up some A1Ss there.
Yeah, the stark lack of presence in connector comes back to bite them. How passive they were playing in CT as well. I mean, you give them mid with Galils. I felt like there should have been an expectation from Kari's side of things that a force buy was on the cards. And yet I think there just was a little too much respect being given this time around. And a well converted round for Brazen.
Yeah, it's just capitalized off of so perfectly. If they're going to give you that control, you got to take it and you got to run. That's exactly what they do. Running into that A side here. Doesn't seem to dampen the spirits of Nice, though. He's still nodding around. He should be happy. He's got the soul A1S. 18 Mythic on the FAMAS here. Of course, you're going to get the Force by Wars to kick off the 3rd map decider.
Wouldn't have it any other way. I mean, 5.7s can still be deadly. The Eagles as well. I mean, but I'm really happy that they're giving the Soul Rifle to Nice. He was a huge bright spot for this Kari Esports side, especially on Nuke. Had some good rounds as well on Overpass. And to close out the series, I mean, you'd want him, the guy with the hot hands, to have that Soul Rifle. but he's playing quite passive. I mean, he is being essentially baited in by the jump spotting of JT Mythic, but they're hedging their bets essentially on this B play, and perhaps we might be making our way there eventually, especially with this underpass presence. Okay, I say that they've basically just shown presence in B apartments. They've gotten all this underpass control, and now they're pivoting back, especially with all this mid control. It's really only Freshie to have that first contact.
Yeah, this is a tricky one for Freshie to hold. He still lands a shot, right? But the kill confirmed, not so much. Round one, and not the second, though. Needed to get that follow-up. Hard to do with only a P250 to your name, though. That's going to be the A site. Compromising it wouldn't be a bad idea to call a save. I like the game plan that they're going for. Really cool setup, actually, that carry a symbol. Oftentimes, you see in a lot of these T-side teams just kind of try and make their way up catwalk on these anti-force buy rounds. So B stack is warranted, but then they do have that slight A presence to try and offer up that just like slight heroic defense. You know, if you can see some fast shots landed from Freshie and then Cryptic able to follow thereafter, there's potential, but no luck in this occasion.
Yeah, just essentially a gamble stack. I mean, in essence, especially where hedging your bets with your rifles on one side of the map is it's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. But at the same time, they do get another bite at the cherry heading into round number 3, or round number 4 rather, with both the FAMAS and A1S being saved, and it not actually being shown to the Brazen side. Perhaps a bit of lackadaisical play might come out. All's not over here for Kari. They've still got a little bit of bite here in this eco round. And a Zeus being bought up for Cryptic again.
You love their Zeuses.
Definitely.
I feel like this team buys so many more Zeuses than just the typical ecos that we get out of everyone else, and I love to see it. Might assemble a little boost inside this one way. That Molly not going to catch anything. It does. He's able to do some damage. In fact, they are burning to a crisp. 8 HP, 13. They're walking away empty-handed. HE actually hones in on Cryptic eventually. They'll go down. JT Mythic, you can only imagine a similar fate lies in for him, but they're actually retreating. Instead, heading in towards this A side. Another boost being assembled here. It's Florence with the Deagle. How sharp is he, though? About a billion different angles to deal with, and the flashes that follow suit. Tricky as well, but that's the first. Can he land the second? No, traded quickly from Dane. Nice shot on the first. A nice attempt, but again, it's these two last man standing. It's Mythic and Nice, and wouldn't it be a bad idea to call the save?
Yeah, it's not the prettiest decision to make. It's not the most fun decision to make. But at the end of the day, you've lost a round inherently. There's no damage that you could possibly do, especially with the lack of flashbangs and the lack of just an idea of where these Brazen players are. So it is the more savvy play here from Kari, and they'll ideally be able to hold on to these rifles. Heading into round number 5, it is important to keep the economy in check. You never know how momentum swings, and having at least 2 players in reserve to have some money left in the bank for, you know, pistol upgraded armor later down the line is always important.
No doubt. You can see some discipline in some of these players, but you have to start converting those rounds. I mean, we already talked about it. This map a little bit less CT-sided than Overpass or your nukes, but still, we live in a CT-dominated meta. So you want to be collecting as many as you can. Walking away with that lead here in the first half is of high priority given the dominance we've gotten on these defensive halves.
We've seen some crazy CT comebacks on this map especially. I mean, I think just the other day there was like a 15-2 lead. It was all through the CT side and a comeback in ECL. So anything can happen, especially in ECL. I mean, we are in a CT hungry meta, and you never know what Brazen will do once they flip onto their CT side. So take as you're saying, perfectly said. I mean, take any rounds and every round that you can.
Just gave all of the Victorian fans severe flashbacks. 15-2 is a scoreline they never want to hear again. That's for sure here. But this B play could be well placed if they're able to make their way on in. But this, again, rather passive setup that they're going for. Nice very much so in the back line. Is going to get that smoke down to try and play off of. And Florence boosted up. This is a great little 1-2 punch. And the rotations are there in time. A heroic dive through the window here, and Florence showing face early on, but his teammates in the meantime have gone down quickly. Florence stepping up in a big way, but East now left last man standing. He's looking to just buy time. Rizu in the meantime is going to be able to op shot down one. Nice, not enough bullets in the chamber, and a no scope connected here. It puts all the pressure on Cryptic's shoulders. Spots the barrel of the opera here, jumps up on the window somehow, nails a shot, and nails a second. More impact out of Cryptic when it's needed the most.
Wow, I mean, this guy has been the MVP of the series. Time after time, impact frag after impact frag. He locks things down, does a little victory lap around B boxes, and secures a second here for Kari Esports. Shout out to Nice as well, stalling for as long as possible with the USP. Brings Rizu down to 1 HP. But all's well that ends well for Kari, and getting that early round back is ever important.
No doubt. That's a massive round there from, again, the duo that we've kind of been highlighting throughout this entire series, right? Nice and Cryptic have been doing a lot of heavy lifting for this team. Worth their weight in gold, it seems. Some utility being tossed out towards the middle, though. Polo extinguishing that volley here. You can see Kari. They've gone for a couple of passive plays. And now they're looking to pick up the heat a little bit. Turn it up just a tad, they say. Just in the water. There's another volley. This is unfortunate for Polo. He's going to get flushed out of position. His teammate close by with the op doesn't have anything to extinguish, but he's still standing. So maybe he's happy as can be. They've just wasted 1,200 rather on getting him out of position.
And Florence doesn't even bother shooting a shot there. Kind of getting away scot-free. And if you're investing that much utility, you'd like to pounce on it. And honestly, to sunk cost at this point, it's back to the A site. They've abandoned mid. They've essentially just drained Kari Esports utility, and they've abandoned ship.
Old IGL duties of just eating so much util, apparently, and now he's going to be able to call up a storm here. Counter utilities near nothing. The smoke has come through. CT spawn. Neither does the flash, but Florence unable to connect off the slim angle here. He's going to turn his attention towards Palace Infinite, taking a lot of flash through the smoke. In the meantime, they're re-redding in towards B. They were hoping to sell up enough of a fake, and that seems to be the case. Polo stepping out towards the market side of things, finds another headshot on the JT. IGL duties, atypical of this impact, but Cryptic again, man. His name always fills the feed on the flank. He drops a bomb as well. How did he even get this position? It's going to be Freshies to really solidify things as well. So Dane on the lurk, a little bit too far removed, and that will be the round converted.
Oh, fantastic shots there from Polo. But yeah, I mean, I think calling a fake like that late in the round is really difficult to execute. Especially with the lack of utility. You don't have that cross smoke in apartments when you utilize it all in throwing those A smokes. It just makes the whole situation that much more dire. It felt more like a Hail Mary than rather than an actually like tangible call there from Polo. Unlucky, they'll say in the chat. And Kari marches on, now bringing out the double ops, Florence and Freshie respectively.
I think this is the first time we get the double ops as well out of them. Didn't really see it on Duke, obviously, not the most necessary double op map, but definitely Mirage, one of them that you can work to perfection here. And one of those ops going to sing out for an opening. Dane hitting the deck here early with a little bit of an aggressive posturing towards that B side. And if this lines him up to commit to an A side play, you can only imagine it's going to go a little bit poorly given the positioning here. Cryptic standing on this bomb site. Nice playing a very forward shadow angle here, and Cryptic able to turn in time. Really good for a win like that. An immediate headshot to follow suit. This guy is sharp in map 3, and he does not look to stop.
I mean, that opening pick from Florence is so pivotal. It basically corrals Brazen back into a mid play. They understand that that's the only real map control that Kari's willing to give. And it's right into the open arms of Cryptic. I mean, I can't sing this guy's praises enough. Fantastic work from him. Double Op doesn't even have to actually get activated this time around. I'm assuming that damage on a freshie was through bullets, so perhaps the surprise factor of the double op, which is usually the primary use of such a setup, has been dashed. But the effectiveness and the kind of positioning that they want to complicate things with, that'll definitely have to be the next kind of adaptation that they bring into round number 8. Make sure that this double op setup still stays fresh, still stays that much more mobile, because if that gets found out, that's where utility starts to be easily able to flush out some of these players and kind of throw things off kilter once you have less rifles in play for retakes.
No doubt. I mean, that's also where we see, you know, maybe some more aggression being a potential solution. Straight B execute. It's always a solution to the double op presence here, but instead, on this occasion, what looks to be the solution, at least attempted, is a heroic shot coming through from Rizu. Simple. Peeking right into that one. It's going to be Florence trying to get an early pick off right there, but instead hits the deck creep. Oh my goodness, taking so much damage. In fact, 100 to 0. Dropping things out here. Utility toss on in as well. Cryptic is so confident in his ability to fire away that he will hold his gun out and he will find everyone. 4K in the round. He's 14-3 right now in map 3.
I mean, you look at the other side of the equation. JT Mythic is 0 for 3. He doesn't have to do anything this time around. He's like, Cryptic, you take all the frags, man. You can do the heavy lifting for me. I'll just sit back and take the win.
It's got to be a good feeling, right?
Certainly.
0-3 and you're winning. Believe it or not, that is absolutely obscene right there. But when Cryptic is doing the work of 3 men by his lonesome, it's definitely understandable here. He just takes a flight behind the smoke, man. On the aggression, he's still winning. He's looking for more. Oh, but eventually we'll get traced down. It's a very solid opener from Grape, just firing through the smoke. Will collect, and now it's going to be up to Casey. Finally get a step up here and step out of the site. It's Rizu to find the trade, but a 2-on-3 retake here. The damage is done onto Rizu, sure, but getting into this round is going to be very, very tricky here. Do they even want to commit, actually? They have an option. Polo's cleared up B once again.
And this time, pulling the ripcord like this makes a ton of sense, especially with Infinite getting all this attention, just throwing a singular flashbang. And they're really considering that, you know, a site plant is coming in on the A side of things, but to no avail. This time around, Polo has made a very intelligent mid-round call. Cut all your losses, make sure that you have the path of least resistance, and they realize that the B bomb side makes the most sense. Sends Florence and East packing. I believe double op cannot be retained this time around. And it's a 4th on the board for Brazen.
Excellent recovery right there as well, right? That started off with a 4-on-5 Cryptic on the inbound there, and surprising aggression coming through. Is Infinite on the prowl. It's not like they have a whole lot of hunted money here, but he is certainly encouraged to it. How deep does he get? You're certain dead. This off angle. Oh, I misjudged him. That is disgusting.
I mean, it doesn't make a huge dent in the economy, but it does look flashy as hell. So we'll go with the brownie points there for Infinite.
That was, yeah, I mean, that's just absolutely stunning shots, right? You think 9 times out of 10 you're gonna lose out that duel, but
yeah,
Infinite's not the biggest of deals in the economy. They threw that one-way smoke. It blooms a little bit late there. That's a nard out of your nade. Fumble. That needs to be an account too. We just witnessed it, and Cryptic goes down because of it. But JT again, when Cryptic goes down, it looks like he says it's my time to shine because he's found the responses. past the equalizer now. No way Florence dives out of this position. He does, chasing Dane down. That is hard to expect and hard to handle, certainly. It'll be infinite last man standing versus 3.
Oh, that's gutsy stuff, but as you're saying, Cole, I mean, the dream team of Cryptic and Mythic, JT Mythic, are working just splendidly. This mid, I mean, they weren't actually fighting for mid all too much, but once they've actually started committing to these fights, they've been coming out on top multiple times. Keeping it now into a 1v2, but he's been surrounded. Florence getting his second in the round, and well executed round there from Kari. Very well done.
Well, what's looked so good here is that we saw them actually give up so much space in round 2. They gave up all the mid control in the world, and it got abused. Now we see Kari much more aggressive in their stance towards middle, and in fact, much more aggressive in their CT side in general, right? We don't see a lot of this easy space creation. Instead, it's constant little, I'm not going to say gimmicky, but tricky setups that they're throwing out, you know, similar to what they got on the overpass CT side. All that being said, I'm going to hold on. They are already making a move on in towards Freshie, a labored spray, 20 bullets down range, and he can't make it work. It's a lot of damage done, sure, but off the site converted here. And, oh, almost dropped the Polo. That HE could finish the job. They're chasing through the smoke, but they're hitting the brakes. There's no risk involved here. Polo to find one. 2 more lying around the corner. That's great with some sharp shooting. Good with the headshots here. That HE's could finish the job. Oh, scary stuff, but he stays alive.
Double smokes up here for Kari. Better utilize them quickly before this time really starts to get into the better of them. Needs with another.
And Dane, he's just spamming down range. Did he hear the bomb? He's sticking it though.
Oh,
No, Dane didn't realize. Thought he was off of it. Thought he was safe, but no. Not the case. That's the 7th round converted, although all 5 CTs go down. So massive economical damage done.
Oh, that's just brutal. I mean, if you're Brazen, you're looking for rounds at this point. Only really 4 more rounds to play with. It's dwindling, it's dwindling. But Kari hang on by a thread through some of these rounds. I'm really assuming that the bomb wasn't heard, like the defusal wasn't actually heard because of the actual damage that came through.
Yeah, I mean, I was near certain that he was going to continue to spam, but he might have outplayed himself just slightly. Or, yeah, you could be onto something there with they not hearing the bomb defuse, but either way. He's Cryptic down early here again. He's cooled off. I mean, I say that he's already done, you know, the work of what one person should do in a half and then some. He's taken down early in this round. So, again, now we look to JT. Because this guy, whenever things go wrong for Cryptic, he's like the ghost that fills his shoes.
Con smoke up for Brazen. Underpass control firmly in Brazen's grasp. And we're starting to formate a little bit of a plan here. Palace and connector. And a bit of window. Polo gets his bell rung. And now this gets a little bit tougher.
I don't hear Polo jumping in through window though in time, and now we're starting to see some relief offered up by the IGL here at Brazen. In fact, he's taking so much space deep in towards connector. Here's another player jumping in towards window. So round and around these guys go. Probably going to beat them at the punch here in jungle as well. And I think Polo is going to have a big jump on them at the moment. They're going to start to make the rotations on in, but Polo, if he plays his cards right, could have the element of surprise. A lot of utility and all that Molly could finish the job. Polo going to get flushed out of position here into the open arms. That's the first piece of the puzzle found. 2 more to go that lie in around the corner. Rounds converted are what they need the most. Do they have what it takes? Infinite and Dane, 2 very clutch players this late in the game. Stacking out. They're playing off each other to perfection. Dane finds 2 and Infinite finds the last. That is so pristine.
I mean, that's experience right there. Understanding that even in that 2v3, you play off each other's contact. Simple as you'd like. You said they were clutch, and clutch they did. 7-5. Finally, rounds being accumulated here slowly but surely. And with that comes single loss bonus, Cole. And it's this ugly, ugly force buy at the tail end of the half for Kari Esports.
Yeah, it's not good at all, right? And this is, you know, despite Dane's struggle to clutch that round, the fact that he finds that last kill, finds all that damage, you know, even though we don't get that round on the board, it very quickly is going to come calling here. Freshie's close by with the though. Man, that's a sharp injury right there. Fast flick coming through from Dane, and he continues his endeavors. Another kill coming forward from him. Infinite going to get plucked out of the server from the soul rifle here. JT Mythic, actually Cryptic holding on to one as well, and all of a sudden, that's starting to swing in the favor. Still though, Dane on 1 HP is going to find one more before heading out of the round, and Polo narrowly lands a headshot. If there was a man you wanted in this situation, though, it would be Cryptic. He's not going to pay attention to this up and touch it. Oh, freebies. That's a leg shot, though. Only a leg shot, and he still lands the head. If he had an AK, Rizu's dead in the water, but instead, it's only a dink, and they walk forward.
Talk about impact from the IGL throughout this half. I mean, he's 8 and 9 for the game, but I feel like every single one of his kills have been super duper impactful throughout this game. He's been calling some so mid rounds. I mean, we've had, I think, the varying levels of success from him thus far in this map of Mirage, but he's doing all that he really can. I mean, he's had some pretty nutty shots as well. Don't get me wrong. He's kind of trying to do it all here for this Brazen side to take it over the line, and I mean, I'd like to argue that he's done his job. Essentially, 7 rounds on the board. It's got to feel pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, right. I have to agree with you. So in terms of some of the mid rounds in the series so far as well, but also Polo is I believe, the least experienced ECL player on this team, so you'd kind of expect that you give him the benefit of the doubt in some of these rounds, right? And in the grand scheme of things, on this T side here, when it mattered the most, Brazen are rising to the occasion, stepping up individually. And you got a winning formula to you if you can keep that consistency up. And they don't show any signs of stopping here. This gonna tie things up. Next round should be a bye to determine who's gonna win the half.
If you're Kari, you'd definitely be wanting that to close it out. The momentum has swiftly changed hands, and you'd want to just have the last laugh heading into half number 2. Nothing given to Freshie this time around. And no AWP available for purchase. Another key aspect to this final buy here on the CT side. Obviously, Florence's impact has been alright. I mean, I think there have been certain spots where he's done well, certain spots where you would like to have him a bit more involved. But nevertheless, the impact of the AWP, at least the potential of it, is non-existent in this final round.
Not gonna be holding on to that. Instead, it's even just kind of scrapping the building. Just a palace rush though? No, they're walking into a pretty heavy triangulated setup. Cryptic in the underpass, the balcony rather, has found himself a multi-kill once again. Finishing this half off on 19 frags. Knee sets up. Polo gonna get knocked down. Florence last man standing. The op not necessary here to win out the half. It will be 8-7 to close this. We'll hop into map or half number 2 right after this break. Back at it once again here. Last half of the series, potentially, barring any overtime. We'll see if Kari can look to close out off of the slight lead that they've given themselves, or if Brazen prove that the CT side is going to continue to be dominant for them. Just straight A execute seemingly lined up here, and the smokes will be tossed out.
They get this site pretty much scot-free here. I say that, and as soon as I say that, Grape takes out Cryptic, but Florence and Freshie still chiming in, taking CT, and maybe a little bit more? No, okay. Just an A bomb site plant, and Florence just wreaking havoc with this P250.
Infinite's already split up so past this, and oh, they just dropped the bomb. And now look at this flank from Palace. Polo spotted out very quickly though. So this flank going to be revealed. The issue is they've got to find the bomb first things first at the moment, and that's easier said than done. Infinite gonna step out here on top of the default box, and he's played to perfection, jumping up above these. How can you expect this? In your face. Counter-strike coming through from Infinite, and that will be what closes us out right there.
Honestly, I thought with the amount of CT control that they had, maybe there was a way back in, but the Palace player doing very well to stay alive, to be a real nuisance. Activate Infinite down onto triple. Or sorry, rather default box, and it works out wonderfully. Pistol on the board for Brazen. They've been absolutely fantastic in these pistol rounds, and it's definitely made some of these maps that's fallen out of their favor much closer than they might appear. But in this one, it could be the most pivotal pistol to win thus far.
No doubt. They've been very consistent on it. That's got to be something they can be proud of, that's for sure. Winning out on these pistols is a great formula to win a series if you can get those consistently, and that's kind of been the case for Brazen. Unless Cryptic stepped up in a big individual manner, I feel like pistols have been few and far between. Kari.
And at this point, I mean, again, taking the complete bend of the knee in terms of economy. Complete Glocks across the board for Kari. Run boost in. Rizzo with the spot. And it should be a mow down here from Polo.
And it is. Farming up some sweet leaves. Oh, you won't be able to turn the corner. They're not in time with these USBs to finish the job there. Sure, why not? That'll do for Brazen on a Glock eco for the most part. Just losing one member's not all that bad either. Now they got themselves a bonus territory here. Definitely a lot of pressure here. Again, I mean, we kind of set our eyes on Cryptic here for the T-side impact now, because it's when it matters the most here. The pressure's on these young guns, and will they rise to the occasion here, or will they fold? At the moment, it looks like Florence going to step up there. I don't even know what he was able to see behind that molly.
I know.
Grabbing Grape, plucking him out of the server right there's a great start.
Polo quickly responding back onto another impact player on Kari. Cryptic down for the count. We talked him up a little bit, and he's immediately out of the round. Glass cannon, keep in mind, for Florence, so also susceptible. But look at this. I mean, I like this mid setup here. It's very risky, but it can pay dividends. Polo aggressive in the mid, Ruzu watching up top, and Infinite pouncing on the underpass.
Holy, really failed that run boost as well.
Yeah.
Oof, walking right into the crosshairs of Infinite. He'll say thank you very much as they stumble across mid. Beautiful stuff. That's a bonus converted there, and now you look at the guns at their disposal. Op in the hands of Rizu, not purchased by him. Granted, purchased by Florence, donated to him. AKs on Polo and Infinite is very scary. Actually, Infinite gonna toss that AK over to Grape, and for good reason. This guy's a headshot machine. But still, I mean, the purchase and the point still stands. It is very, very scary. He's, oh, flashbang might have had a gap there if it wasn't filled with the op presence, but Cryptic Able to land some nice Tech 9 shots there, taking care of Polo. And look at the positioning that they've got themselves in. They're pushing that smoke's a massive risk, and Rizu going to capitalize off of that.
Anticipating the second though? Oh, wow, what a flick from Rizu.
They're dropping numbers though, and they're dropping them quickly. It's all on the shoulders of Cryptic here. And a 1-on-2. He's got a Tech 9 to his name. The weaponry leaves a lot to be desired. But the player, individually speaking, might be the right tool. He's going to play the patient game, right? And why wouldn't you? You got 50 seconds left, and it seems like he has an interesting idea here. I say that he's going to start to make his way up catwalk and shouldn't be able to meet too much presence or potential onto Dane. And right now with the positions, even if they're able to recover the bomb, you got one deep in towards apartments ready to activate on the flank. He's starting to clear out so many wrong angles. He doesn't have much time left now, as that's been dwindled slowly and surely off the clock. Now his option is to pick up the bomb at head A. I think he did a silent drop off that.
That was impressive for
Yeah.
sure.
Pretty sick stuff, but I still don't think it'll change the end result here because Infinite spotted him. I want to go down here as well. There you go.
I think Infinite was trying to stall out for as long as possible to see if he can kill him after time. A little too close for comfort, and Infinite pulls the trigger. 11th on the board for Brazen. Some cute little heroics there from Cryptic, but end result, as you said, Exner, is still a firm round confirmed for the CT side. And dude, they're just so flush with cash this time around. I mean, winning all of these eco rounds, even the buy round, the bonus rounds as well, it's feeling like rounds are just running out for Kari. But Florence has other things to say. He's gotten an opening onto the B player of Rizu, but he gets spammed down by Polo.
Man, after such a great opener, just to get that dealt to you in return is so insanely brutal.
I know.
Polo again, man. He's been very, very solid when it comes to the individual impact, pulling things back, because Florence has been kind of heating up here. You know, he didn't mention him as one of the 1-2 punches that Kari are bringing to the table, but in a couple of these T-side early opening plays, he has been stepping up. Look to assemble a flash set up here. Infinite that's the waters flashes in, but the quick trade delivered. And these for Freshies onto Infinite, and that's a good response there. But again, this leaves Grape tucking towards the balcony. He's getting all the way out of position, flushed out by JT, who capitalizes off of it perfectly. Last little bit of hope here is Dane's fast flank. If he can make anything of this round, it would have to be here and now. Freshie's going to turn it just in time. Lands the headshot as well. So Kari Esports, they pull around quickly out of the hat.
Fantastic work there from Kari. I mean, the connector presence was beautiful. The flash timing. I mean, it was outstanding to see Infinite actually get one there to begin with. But the trade was quicker. The Molotovs, the presence of mind to actually clear out some of these spots that could come back to bite them were cleared. And a job well done. 9 on the board for the T side. Cash, but not that much so. I mean, money's running out, but trades are still thick and fast, and that's all the much better for Brazen. I
don't think they realize that Infinite has just completely double backed here as well. But issue is, they've tucked themselves deep in towards jungle, so Infinite's position might be null and void here soon. They gotta tune their positions in. Their crosshairs in towards CT spawn. Bomb planted here, spam being done, but it's not enough. Freshie somehow able to find the kill and offer up coverage for his teammate to plant the rock, and now it's all in the back of the IGL here to perform. He has no kit. 10-second defuse is going to be so tricky here, especially with these push and pull locations. Flashbang, not going to blind up Polo. He's looking to isolate this fight first things first, but you can see that, unfortunately for him, Freshie is just so far back in towards ramp, it's going to buy way too much time.
He's just running. He knows what's happening. He knows Polo has to go aggressive. And even though he dies, it doesn't matter. He psychs Polo out of this round. Got back-to-back rounds here for Kari. I mean, these rounds are starting to look pretty efficient. Like, the synergy that these players are having together on these sight hits, as well as the attention to detail with the use of utility, they're not allowing for Brazen to have those individual pop-off moments. And they're allowing Kari to kind of flex their muscles, flex the kind of prowess that they have on their lineup through fantastic utility usage. Very well done.
That's good util, and it's also to couple that some very promising, push and pull. You saw that mid aggression come through quickly, but then they couple that with a player just barreling out towards A, so they know when there's gaps in the defense and holes, because that amount of mid presence that Brazen just threw at that last round, obviously it's going to leave your resources weak elsewhere. A little balcony molly to be. That's unfortunate.
We don't talk about that.
Shake that one off. Eventually they will get that molly down towards under balcony as well, so no harm, no foul. They're going to move their way on in. Rotations have arrived onto the scene, but again, the likelihood of doing too much damage is very slim here. But Brazen, they assemble a little bit of a boost, and Polo's going to capitalize off of it. There's one that snuck on in. Rizu has chances to pop off with the USP. Cryptic head on a swivel. They're right in his face.
Oh,
Rizu
no!
somehow still offering up some fight. It's all on the back of Infinite here. In a 1-on-2, he's found the first, and Cryptic's very low. He's made the escape as well to make this round so complicated. They get on top of this little truck. Why not? Can't hurt. Back down he goes, but still a 1-on-1. And Cryptic, he has to be careful about where he plants his bomb at, or if he's even able to. He's just going to hold his own position here for 20 seconds. Infinite going to turn the corner. It's a game of timing here, and Infinite might have had the jump if he didn't pop a shot off. Cryptic going to commit to this bomb plant. He's just going to go for it straight up, hoping to bait out Infinite, but instead he plants the rock, and now he's got the upper hand. It's going to be Infinite that has to force his position. No, sneaky as ever. He's going to crouch on out. He's looking to take the headshot angle. He knows he's low on HP, but he's taking the wide fight here, and Infinite going to win it out. A 1-on-2 with no armor and 23 HP.
I mean, what a push and pull there in that 1v1. You could definitely see the kind of momentum shifts throughout that little cat and mouse game. But Infinite comes out on top. 10-second defuse, no armor. Just a couple bullets and he lands everything required. That's such a pivotal round to win if you're Brazen. I mean, that could be the kind of turning point in momentum and potential for Kari to come back into this game. But Brazen, Infinite especially, I talked a big game about him for quite some time, and that impact is finally starting to show once we get to the tail end of this series. It's been a long and arduous one, but it's Infinite that's trying to have the last laugh here.
I think pivotal is just the exact definition of what that round conversion was right there, right? This really puts some pressure on the economy here. You can see just enough to get 3 AKs and an op in Florence, sure. But if they lose this one, not only is it going to be 13, but likelihood of 14 is definitely there here. So this becomes a necessary round to carry. If they want to continue, Florence lets one slide on by the crosshair. No opening pick granted to him this time here. He's been pretty good on those, but this occasion not given to him here. Cryptic, wise, being very careful about his positioning here. Eats an HE though. That's 50 damage chunked off his shoulder. In the meantime, they're looking to walk on through this middle side. They're walking into non-stop utility and so much presence here. Florence down to 1 HP walking. But still barely alive and barely breathing here.
I mean, Bogdan's Law is still in effect, Cole. He's still got 1 HP. He's still got the AWP to use. But around the rest of the squad, JT is down to a deagle and no armor. 2 smokes, so it is enough to at least get a bit of an at B execute, and Dane's gonna have to be put on notice here. He's gotta stand tall.
Again, he's an anchor you can trust, man. And, well, he's just distracting for Polo to be the one that shoots him from the side. And eventually Nice will be able to pre-fire that position. The damage is already done. Cross covered from Rizu, and he only takes a leg shot for it. Florence trying to make his way on towards the site. It's a desperate effort. It's not going to be the round. Brazen get that critical back-breaking round there, and Kari have tough decisions ahead.
Certainly. I mean, if I was Kari in this situation, you've already got the loss bonus building. Take a partial here. Get all that utility that you want. Have a quick little set piece. Yeah, bring a Galil forward as well. But I mean, even then, they actually haven't opted in for much utility. And again, just a simple little default play here. I believe JT will cop that nade. Molotov was a little too far forward for it to actually spread over. They've got middle. They've gotten middle for quite a few number of rounds here. But it's just B apartments again that they want to test.
Yeah, they're going to walk into a complete crossfire here. You're constantly seeing Polo being able to multi-frag off of this little 1-2 punch that Dane and Polo are able to assemble. They are playing off each other to perfection. And it works out wonderfully every single time they try and hit that B bomb site. Phenomenal job being done there from Brazen, and they're getting close to the finish line. You talked about that half purchase here, that loss bonus stacking up to near peaks. They're getting close to the finish line though, and this map, this series has a lot of implications on who's going to be making it into playoffs and who's going to be more so worried about making it into playoffs here.
Certainly. I mean, the later and later stages we get to this season, the more heavily these implicate. You don't want to get relegated. You want to have a shot at the playoffs, and Ruzu, he's trying to stamp his approval and punch his ticket to the playoffs as quickly as possible. Infinite with another. This is going from bad to worse, and one of Kari Esports' final opportunities here. 3v5 to get them out of the rut, and Ruzu with another peak. All the information. This 4v2 is all but confirmed, and it's gonna have to be up to JT and Nice to try to pull this one back. But I don't know, Cole. I don't think they have enough in the tank to pull this one through.
I don't think so either. It's going to be hard fought, and they've got every angle covered. This is when you can play this passive, right? This is when you can kind of tuck in towards CT spawn and rest on your advantage. They've got everyone in prime position here. The avenue of actually closing this round is slim to none. We've got to nail some timing here. Utility just tossed in towards this A side. If they could only get a molly down towards Palace, maybe we can start to talk about a post plant. And that's what they've just done. Mollied out Palace. They still have to worry about ramp, but there's an opportunity. There's a world. They're able to punch the digits in. Again, though, this ramp flank's fast, and Grape is able to activate here. It doesn't even need it. The kill comes through from ramp. Grape's going to eventually finish the job, and there's series point grabbed from Brazen.
Clinical stuff there from Brazen. I mean, the aggressiveness from Ruzu to re-peek there down to mid, get all that information. Quick little double kill from him. And, I mean, well done to Grape to stay alive. And Palace, I mean, that's such a pivotal position, holding on to CT as well. Crossfires aplenty. And it should be all she wrote, unless Kari has something to say here. You want a little bit more out of some of these individuals. Cryptic has fallen off, and he's just barely his way into connector, and they've gotten it. They've gotten a key piece of map control, and it's Infinite now on notice.
Oh, yeah. He's good for one, but then done. Very quickly. Great credit. Lord trying his way on out towards the save. Bombs to offer up a defense here. Flashes are good, but looks like Florence a step quicker. It's up to the IGL to look to close here. Utility is going to flush out JT. Bomb being planted, though. I don't know if that spread's going to really work in his favor, believe it or not. Looked so perfect, but eventually that's going to start to stick. Off-angle help from Florence, but the kill's confirmed, and it will be Polo to finish the job of fitting in for Brazen, as it's their leader to finish the job and close things out.
We talked about two players at the very beginning of this series. We talked about Polo, and we talked about Infinite. And it might not have been them in the first two maps of play, but when going got tough, when all the chips were down on the table and they had to put their money where their mouth is, they showed up to play on the CT side of Mirage. Fantastic work from them, and Brazen as a whole. I mean, you could even see just the synergy between the rest of the players doing very well. I mean, Dane had his moments with some fantastic angles.